It's nearly 10 o'clock in the morning here, tailor-made for some great racing. It's always enjoyable coming to Montreal as it produces an exciting weekend's racing. High speeds and tough corners means there's always a chance of a driver losing their front wing, going off into an escape road, or even heading into the gravel.
Well, the Wall of Champions always seems to catch one or two drivers out because of how close they get to it as they arrive at such high speed. We can probably expect to see someone end up there over the course of the weekend.
A few of the drivers have mentioned how important it will be to look after their rear tyres here. I know the Sauber and Toro Rosso guys are particularly worried about how they're going to manage that, as it's perhaps one of the areas they're still trying to get on top of.
Lots of low-speed exits means the rears are in for a lot of punishment. It's all too easy to spin them up coming out of a corner too aggressively. It might look great for us as spectators, as we love to see a car driven beyond its limits, but it's not going to result in a great long-run pace.
What's going on, guys? Over here. Welcome back to my F1 2015 career mode with Sebastian Vettel. We're back with part number 7 here at the Canadian Grand Prix. And we had a fantastic episode last time out, part 6 in Monaco. So if you haven't seen that yet, I do recommend highly checking out. Probably the best race of the season so far. So go to check that out by clicking my name underneath the video. But we're here in Canada anyway, and we're in practice. And this is our second lap. You can just see we set a lap time that's not that amazing. And we're just going down the order as people start saying their lap times. But practice, obviously, on the prime tires. Just trying to feel out our setup. We've gone for a very low aerodynamic wing setup, that's the word, low wing setup. I believe I went with like 3.2 or even 3.1 wing, so a very low wing. You can see the torque there coming out that corner is still very tricky to manage at Canada. You know, last time out as well we were struggling in Monaco, so the first 5 races I've actually really had an easy time with the back end, and I've really not had that much oversteer at all. So since Monaco we've been struggling a little bit more, I guess because since Monaco I've been pushing the setup even more on the wings, trying to get even more straight line speed out of the setups, whereas in the first 5 races I guess I was being a bit more cautious. So that's something you're going to kind of naturally see in this career mode, where I get a bit more confident. Maybe I kind of, you know, go a bit more extreme on the setups, and you might see me lose the back end a little bit more, whereas in the first 5 races I pretty much didn't have a major issue with oversteer. But yeah, just trying to feel out the setup here, go P9 there with that lap, just trying to improve more and more, and eventually in the practice session I started to put higher fuels on, just trying to see how this setup will work in the race time. But yeah, if you've been subscribed to me for a while, you'll know I've said in the past that on F1 2010 to 2013, this was my favourite circuit, all-time fastest circuit and favourite circuit. As you can see here, we just completely lose the back end there and smash into the wall, lose our front wing. But on F1 2014, last game, I fell out with this circuit. I just felt it was just horrible. But back in practice, you know, don't take too much into those crashes there you're seeing on screen right now. I was actually feeling a lot more confident on the practice. As you can see, we come through the last chicane quite aggressively there, and I actually found the groove eventually here at Canada. I believe we go P2 here. There it is in practice. So finally feeling the groove of this circuit. So I'm feeling very confident for qualifying. So let's see what we do here at Canada. Let's go to the qualifying session.
Hello and welcome from the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, home to the Canadian Grand Prix for today's qualifying session. The Canadian Grand Prix has been dominated over the years by Ferrari, Mclaren and Williams. They have over 30 wins between them, so I expect a good showing from all of those teams here again today.
That's true, but Mercedes have such a strong package this year, it would surely be a mistake to rule them out of a chance of winning. However, Montreal is a very different type of circuit though, where you have to run the lowest downforce settings of the season so far. It's also extremely hard on brakes, so it's all to play for in today's session.
So here we are in qualifying for the Canadian Grand Prix, and I'm looking very much forward to it. As I said, in practice, I have found the groove again with this circuit. I hated it in last year's game, but I think I've found my love for it once more here on this game now, on this new one. So we're going through to the first flying lap. As you can see, we're P14 at the moment because I've fast-forwarded a little bit into the session. So we're actually one of the last people to set our lap time. So at the moment, Kimi Räikkönen has got on pole position there. A little snap of oversteer off the second turn there. But now later on into the lap, we lock up quite horribly in the hairpin. But so far, it's been a pretty tidy lap, actually. And again, as I said right at the end of practice, found the groove. In practice, we came in P2. Let's see what this is going to be. We opened DRS and obviously a very low aerodynamic wing setup. So we're going, you know, well past 200, nearly 210 miles per hour there. Just as we slam on the brakes there into third gear, chuck the car in even more there. got a bit of a tail squirrel on the exit of the corner, but we come through for P1 there. Pole position, and you can see there on the replay, that is the little tank slapper we had through the last chicane there. So even with that little tank slapper, we managed to get P1 there. So that would have lost us a little bit of time. So now we're on to our second flying lap of the session now. I'm going to try and improve even more. We've still got pole position, but I feel like we can get even more time out of this circuit, especially if we keep it tidy through that final chicane, because that would have lost us at least a good 2/10, you know, kind of sliding that rear end out. So here we are back on the end of that lap on the chicane once more, and we get a really nice clean exit there. We've got two AI cars, Fiat, and I think that's Grosjean there, trying to set a lap time, but we set another blistering lap time. We've improved our lap time there, and we've got pole position confirmed for the Canadian Grand Prix. That is absolutely awesome.
What a day for the team and Sebastian Vettel. He's put in the fastest lap of the session, and he's on pole.
Well, he's got to be pleased with that. He's worked hard for it and deserves the result. He'll now turn his sights to tomorrow for what should be a very exciting race.
It's nearly 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's time to go racing here in Montreal. The Grand Prix de Canada was a firm favourite of Michael Schumacher, who won here a record 7 times. Many of our drivers today would be really happy just to win it once. A strong qualifying performance from Sebastian Vettel yesterday sees him start today's race on pole. He should be feeling really positive about his chances of winning here, shouldn't he?
He was driving on another level yesterday, so it wouldn't be a surprise if he just pulls away from the field and is untouchable. But as we know, anything can happen in Formula 1, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Just what do you think will be going through Fernando Alonso's head as he watches now how well Ferrari are doing this year?
Fernando left Ferrari as he didn't believe they'd be able to offer him the opportunity to win that third world title. If he knew this form was around the corner, I dare say he would have stayed put.
So here we are for the grid for the Canadian Grand Prix on pole position. Both Mercedes right behind me, Rosberg on my right, Hamilton behind me. So I think this might be a trickier start than we had at Monaco. There's a lot more track to play with for the Mercedes to kind of go around us off the start. But let's see how we do. And we are revving up to those 5 red lights. We got to 4, now 5 to first turn. And we're into second place now, hitting the apex quite nicely, but Rosberg there shoots off like a bullet into first place. Looks like Bottas is in third place behind us. A little bit of I think a collision behind us as it goes yellow flag for a moment there. But we're into second place. We're chasing down Rosberg. We had a good little first section there into that high-speed chicane. We've closed up on Rosberg now, so hopefully we can just try and stay behind in this distance. Within 1 second, remember, we can get that DRS, and obviously we've got that low drag setup. We've got those, I believe it was 3-2 wings in the end. So I think if we can try and get DRS, we can try and re-overtake Rosberg and try and get that first place back off that we lost from pole position. Right now, he sets the fast lap of the Grand Prix, obviously, and we're on lap 3 now. So lap 2, we were just trying to keep with him. On lap 3, we've got a bit closer, and right now you can see on the mini-map, me and Rosberg kind of going away from the entire grid. So me and Rosberg in a kind of pace in a world of our own at the moment. Hamilton is nowhere to be seen. I think he may have span off in turn 1 as he tried to maybe go down my inside. I was having none of it. Why should I leave him the room there? I had the corner there, so he span off, so none of my fault there. So we're in second place at the moment in lap 4 with the DRS now. We've gone purple on the previous lap, so we're right there with Rosberg. Can we try and close up on him in the chicane? Looks like the AI are not too great in this chicane section, and we close up on Rosberg right there. He's got a snap of oversteer. We move to the left hand side of the track. Are we going to try and overtake him? Rosberg squeezes me to the left hand side of the circuit there, and we're going to break down quite hard. We'd lock up a little bit, going a little bit oversteer moment there into the turn. We go wide now into turn 2 though. Rosberg comes right back at us. He's got a first place back on us. We lose the rear end, and we have to settle for second place once more. But let's look at a little replay there. So we close up on him quite a lot there. We have to dive to the left hand side of the track, and now look at that, Rosberg squeezing me to that pit wall, almost like Button did on Hamilton in 2011, but thankfully Rosberg didn't squeeze me all the way there. We've gone wide though in corner 2. We got a little bit too happy, I think, a little bit too excited that we got into first place there, so we went very wide in turn 2. But now onto lap 6, we locked up into first gear, just trying to really dive into the hairpin to try and make sure we get the DRS still off Rosberg, because the AI don't seem to be going too fast in that last chicane. So that's where we can gain all the time. In the first sector, we're getting time. In the second sector, we're losing time. In the third sector, we're gaining it back. So really pushing hard, so hard on these laps now, trying to close up on Rosberg. Yet again, we've got him now into the chicane. We've got the DRS wide open. Can we close up on him? We're gaining in the slipstream. We move to left-hand side of the track, darting to left-hand side of the track. We go down the inside, lock up on the left tyre, into third gear, into second. We park it on the apex this time, and this time we do not let go of first place there. So that is a really nice move. We're going to look at that again, and right there, we get the slipstream on Rosberg. We tuck in right behind him, but there we swoop. We do a little dummy to the right and then to the left. Really late move there to the left-hand side. Did a little dummy, and I think that might have helped us overtake Rosberg there. We park it on the apex for corner 2, and we managed to not lose it. So now we're going to cut right back to the action where we left off now. We've just made that move on Rosberg, but as you can see in our mirrors on the left mirror, he's right there. We look briefly behind us. Rosberg is right there up our chuff in the gearbox, so we still have to make sure we're through tidy on this left-hander there into second gear, and he's going to have the DRS now on us if he stays behind here. But no, we lose the back end. No, we've hit the wall. Thankfully, no damage, but Rosberg has got first place back. We lost the rear end off that corner, just putting the throttle down way too much. Obviously, the new V6 engines we've had for the second year running now, a lot of torque, and if you just hit them at the wrong point, they give you a big spike of torque on this year's game, and that's what happened right there. So we've lost first place. We're in second back now, but we're within DRS, so can we get Rosberg back again on the next lap and try and get him back once more on the pit straight? We'll have to see. Up into rich mix at the moment. We're going up the gears now, 7th, then 8th. We're going to have to open DRS now. Let's see how we can do. We're closing, but we're not closing too much. We're into the braking zone. We should be able to do something. Here we go, chucking in third gear. Rosberg's had a poor exit again, losing the back end. Looks like Rosberg's really struggling with tyre wear here. Can we get him here onto lap 8 now, down to the first corner? I think it'll be a bit too much. We try it, but no. We've hit the back of Rosberg. Thankfully, he didn't spin out, and thankfully we didn't get any damage. So my bad there to Rosberg. We kind of outbroke ourselves there and just hit the back of him. But now onto lap 9, you can see Rosberg kind of got away from us a little bit, but we're still within 1 second just about. We were again locked up into that hairpin, trying to dive down to make sure we get the DRS off him. I think we're a bit too far. Let's see as we come up to the line, which should be around about now. And no, we don't get DRS. We don't get DRS. So we're going to have to try and just push on now. Onto a lap 11 now. We have been pushing hard for 2 laps now. We're right up Rosberg's gearbox into the second high-speed chicane on this lap towards the hairpin. Can we even make a move down to the hairpin? We're going to have to see. We're going to make a little dive move there. Locked up on the right tyre. Rosberg's still going right round the outside of us. He's got the grip, and there you go. New improved AI. He still stays right round the outside, whereas in the past, we may have got the move there. But now in the slipstream, Rosberg on this dip, we're going to keep it through the chicane. We're really good through the chicane in third gear. Rosberg loses out quite massively as we look behind us. He's right, you know, at least a second behind us now through that chicane. So we're in first place at the moment, the Canadian Grand Prix. Can we keep it now? Hopefully we don't make any more mistakes like we did, and we don't make any kind of pressurized mistakes. So now onto lap 16 now. We've been going well for the next 5 laps, and we're still into first place now. Rosberg is closing up on us, but we're actually going to make our pit stop, so this is going to be interesting. Hopefully we don't make any kind of crashes as we try to go into the pit lane, but no, he actually follows us in. So right now, lap 16, we're into the pits. We are pushing so hard for all those 16 laps that you could probably see on the subtitle. Jeff told me that my tyres were actually blistering, so that's just how hard I was pushing on for those 16 laps. The first time I've ever felt we're pushing so hard against Legend AI since probably a race in 2013. Just so satisfying, just so fun to race against these AI in this game right now. And now we've cut into lap 34. I know, quite some way. We've made our pit stop onto the prime tyres. But unfortunately, I guess for you guys, but great for me once more, like in Monaco, nothing really happened. We controlled the race here. And I'm going to tell you, there was a little bit of a kind of strategic thing we had to do now. So we came out of the pits now on the prime tyres. We pushed a little bit. We used a bit of the tyre wear up. And we gained about a 5-second lead to Rosberg coming out of the pits basically in the first few laps. But then I decided to go into lean mix, kind of try and save the fuel a little bit, try and save the tyres. And we did that so, you know, quite effectively to the point where Jeff told us we had 5 kilograms too much fuel to run. So I then turned up to rich mix around, I think it was lap 29. We pulled out a little bit more of a gap to Rosberg. We lost a little bit, obviously, because we went lean mix. And it looked like when I went to lean mix, Rosberg pushed really hard and then blew out his tyres because he just wasn't able to keep up with us. So here we are on lap 34. We controlled the race so well. We've done a basically typical Sebastian Vettel race, really, when he's in the lead of the Grand Prix in that Red Bull era. Just controlled the race off there. You know, we did the business in those first 16 laps. Pushed so hard. I mean, literally, I can't, you know, obviously you're not driving it with me, so I can't really explain it any better, but I was just ragging that car out, just really chucking it into the chicane, really on the edge of grip. You know, the tyres were blistering towards the end on that lap 16. Really an amazing first stint. Felt amazing to really push that hard to try and stay ahead of Rosberg and overtake him. Really felt amazing. But here, on the flip side, felt amazing to kind of control the race and see that going into lean mix, saving my tyres, saving the fuel actually worked to my advantage here. And for the first time since, well, ever in the Codemasters series, the tyre wear and the kind of fuel is properly kind of modelled in the way that you can still kind of stay in your position and save some fuel if you're clever about it. You know, shifting up early, you know, lifting, coasting a little bit, but not too much to the point where you're losing time. And it's just great here on lap 35. We're overtaking Max Verstappen there, just lapping him into the chicane, not into the hairpin, I must say, very easily there. Rosberg a few seconds behind us, and it's all just gone swimmingly here for our Canadian Grand Prix. And as I said at the beginning of the video, I have truly fallen back in love with this circuit again. It looks like I've finally found the groove, and we're going to weave around on the even on the pit straight, weave around in the back straight through the chicane. We're going to come through for our second win of the season, our second win in a row for the Canadian Grand Prix. That is absolutely awesome. It's a Canadian Grand Prix win.
Another race win for the team from Maranello. The grandstands are awash with red flags to salute their man.
It really was a great performance, and one that I think will be remembered for a long time to come.
It was great having you with us for this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Until next time though, goodbye.
So there we have it, guys. The Canadian Grand Prix is won, our second win in this season, and I really hope it came across well how intense those first 16 laps were. If you did enjoy this episode, smash that like button, guys. I'm going to say, you know, if we can reach 2,000 likes on this episode, I will do a double upload for tomorrow, Monday. We'll do the Austrian Grand Prix and then the British one. So if we can get to 2,000 likes on this episode, guys, I will do that for you. 2 uploads tomorrow on Monday to cure the Monday blues for you guys. So that is absolutely awesome. Comment below what you thought. Subscribe when you're around here for daily Formula 1 content. And it's all going really up now. I'm really finding the groove of this game now. Getting a little bit faster. Getting a bit more confident. Kind of putting on less drag on the setups now. And we can try and maybe challenge the Mercedes if they slip up in qualifying and in the race. We're in 3rd place in the Drive Championship. That's awesome. Once more, give it a like if you did enjoy it. Comment below what you thought. If you're new around here, subscribe.